reveals hackers affiliated with China's People's Liberation Army have infiltrated critical services here in the U.S.
Chinese cyber army is invading critical U.S. services. Now, you may have heard this news or not, and the article, I think, was from Fox News. I do believe that the snippet, I will show more of that a little bit later. But some of the headlines from the Washington Post: the Chinese military is ramping up its ability to disrupt key American infrastructure, including power and water utilities, as well as communications and transport systems, according to US officials and industry security officials. It sort of sounds like a James Bond movie or Mission Impossible. So we need Tom Cruise or whoever the new James Bond is to nip over to China, blow lots of things up, and it will be sorted. At the moment, at the time of this report, I've looked at the Chinese response, and even though this news at the time of recording, which is 8 o'clock on Tuesday, the 12th of December 2023, there has been no response. I can imagine that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will deny all of this and just say it's American propaganda. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Who knows? Don't know with that one. And I'm sure a lot of the Western shills who support Xi Jinping and don't support democracy will deny all this, and they will make it a very complicated excuse that this is a complete load of baloney. Let's continue with the article. Hackers affiliated with China's People's Liberation Army, the PLA, have burrowed into the computer systems of about 24 critical entities over the past year, these experts said. So, yeah, if you go to Google and you type in cyber attack USA, whatever, or Chinese cyber attacks in USA, it will be spread over the year. I did actually go and check that, and there are quite a few that happen. But you can think of the opposite side as well. How many times has the Secret Service or MI6 or the FBI, CIA invaded into the Chinese systems and sort of like had a quick peek at that? We can continue with the headline for this. Among the victims are a water utility in Hawaii, a major West Coast port, at least one of the oil and gas pipelines. People familiar with these incidents told the Washington Post the hackers also attempt to break into the operator of Texas power grid, which operates independently from electrical systems in the rest of the world.
Alexandra Hoff joins us now from our nation's capital. Alex, this is not good.
No, it's not. I mean, this infiltration appears to be part of a broader effort to insert chaos into our logistical systems. The information collected could then be weaponized if the U.S. and China were to become engaged directly in the Pacific.
It is actually all pretty shocking stuff. Now, this we have to verify, and more news will come out today as it happens, I can guess. But let's go back to the Fox News alert.
According to reporting from the Washington Post citing multiple U.S. and industry security officials, China's cyber army is invading critical U.S. services, like an attempt to break into the system behind Texas's independent power grid. Other victims include a water utility in Hawaii, a West Coast port, and at least one oil and gas pipeline.
Additionally, they advocate for business and implement more robust multi-factor authentication methods instead of SMS-based verification, which can be vulnerable to interception of foreign entities. The use of physical security keys or hardware tokens is recommended. It's only just 2 weeks before Christmas, and if this article or all of this is true, it's because there's lots of people now using their computers more than ever. Everything is slowly winding down related to business. People are more vulnerable. They're just going to be thinking of Christmas and not about these security features. If you are shopping online, then make sure you are vigilant. Go to the ones that you've been using, like Amazon or eBay, for example, if you are. And quite simply, with this, just be aware of your surroundings. Now, that's just a preview of what we're going to talk about in a moment or two. So, US alarmed as Chinese attacks critical systems. What can you do? What can you and I do? So basically what our system should be related to. We can go through these articles here. So the first one, regularly update and strengthen passwords. So if your password is your telephone number, then forget it. If it's your date of birth, it's easy to do. It's got to be more complicated. For example, a city followed by some numbers which are safe for you, not your birthday, something like an anniversary of your great-grandmother, for example. That's going to, and then it's changed, let's say once every 3 months. I know it's a pain in the backside to do, but that's one thing. 2, enable multi-factor authentication. So make sure that you have double, not just your face, but also a PIN code as well. Staying vigilant. Keeping all software, including antivirus, up to date. So most antivirus would run in the background. I use 2, and I use 2. One of them is Malwarebytes as well. It's easy to install, and it just runs in the background. And I've never been really cyber attacked before in that way. I have on YouTube, but not actually on my computer. Let's continue with the Fox News alert. How these hackers actually work. There are many people now doing their Christmas shopping online, so they have more choices of the vulnerability. They need like a back door to break in. Now, this is make sure that you do have a secure network on your Wi-Fi system at home. So if you go and check your Wi-Fi and it says not a secure connection, go and get it changed. If you don't know, take it to a computer shop. They will tell you about all these different systems, which is going to give you a secure network. If you're in a hotel, it's going to be an unsecure network. Perhaps, example, using a VPN. Now, I would recommend something like Surfshark or NordVPN, if you know how to use it. So, and all these things can track and alert. You can use a public IP, for example. Now, these are double. This is what I use. So the system is more aware of what's happening. In other words, if someone tries to use my internet, I will get a notification. I will get a beep, 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 beep on my computer, for example, and it will say, would you accept this? I would block it, and then it disappears. It has happened once or twice since I've been using this internet service provider here in Cambodia. Be safe, everyone, and please share this with your friends, and please be really vigilant related to this. If we all are, then the hackers are going to have great difficulty finding a hole or a back door to get into it. Once they're in the American network system, they can worm their way around to the, you could say, the really difficult cyber, their security, but they can hack it. These guys are genius related to this. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
According to that report you're seeing there. Brendan Wells, executive director of the Department of Homeland Security's cybersecurity agency, told the Washington Post this, quote, "It is very clear that Chinese attempts to compromise critical infrastructure are in part to pre-position themselves to be able to disrupt or destroy that critical infrastructure in the event of a conflict, to either prevent the United States from being able to project power into Asia or to cause societal chaos inside the United States to affect our decision-making around a crisis." The report notes that over the past year, hackers affiliated with the People's Liberation Army in China have accessed the computer systems of about 24 critical entities.